vocabulary. Now, I've taken the pages that we're looking at today from Phrasal Verbs in Use and Phrasal Verbs in Use Advanced. These are books by Cambridge University Press, and I'm going to show you right now that they are by exactly the same two authors, Michael McCarthy and Felicity O'Dell. So you can see that Michael McCarthy and Felicity O'Dell, I've forgotten which page number I was on now, I'll have to quickly look for that. Michael McCarthy and Felicity O'Dell clearly have a lot of vocabulary books out there for you to buy, and they are good vocabulary books, which is why I share why I'm sharing them on my website. Now, I'm not going to share all of them. It's okay, chapter 61 we need. I'm not going to share the whole book because I think you should go out and buy it, and I'm doing this really to advertise their book as a good book. And so I will leave up a small page, perhaps these questions underneath, but I'm just using it to teach and to show you that these are good books to learn and expand your vocabulary with. They're really famous, these two authors. Of course, they're not the only people that have written really good, really interesting vocabulary books. I'm sure there are many others. And on the topic of phrasal verbs, I'd like you to buy my book because I have a book on phrasal verbs as well. So there are many books around for you to go out and buy for vocabulary. These are just some of them, but I do recommend Michael McCarthy and Felicity O'Dell. They do a good job on the vocabulary books, no doubt about it. So let's go through two books today, Phrasal Verbs in Use, which is this one, and we'll also look at Phrasal Verbs in Use Advanced, which is this one. But let's start with Phrasal Verbs in Use. So the weather forecast. It will brighten up in the north of England tomorrow morning, but the sun won't last long, and the region will soon cloud over again. So brighten up means become sunny. Yeah, it means become sunny. So it's an active kind of, if you just say brighten, the room brightened, brighten up is only for weather, really. I suppose you could say the room brightened up, but usually it will be because the sun was coming through the window, the sun's rays perhaps. And so to brighten up means to become sunny. And to cloud over means the opposite. It means to become cloudy, yeah, and to stop being sunny. And so usually the sun is covered by clouds when it clouds over. Rain in the east will clear up later. So we do say bad weather clears up, meaning it goes away, it disappears. And if rain clears up, it's very often used for rain, but it could also be used for clouds. Yeah, you could say that the cloudy weather will clear up later, or the overcast skies will clear up later. So bad weather like rain or cloud tends to clear up. An area of high pressure means it should warm up. Okay, warm up, it means get warmer. Yeah, just like brighten up means get brighter, and warm up means get warmer. And remember that this phrasal verb also means what you do when you're sporty, and before the sport that you play, you warm up, you stretch your muscles, basically. That's also warm up. And you can also warm something up, or even better, heat something up in the oven. Okay, when you mean just heat it up a little bit, maybe heat something up in the microwave. That's very common. Yeah, just for a few minutes, just to make it warm again. Okay, and the opposite of warm up, guess what? It's cool down. Just like speed up, slow down, warm up, cool down. Try to make these connections in your head because it will help you with these phrasal verbs. So get cooler, cool down. Yeah, it means become chilly. Remember chilly, become nippy. Remember nippy. Cool down a little because of strong north or easterly winds. On the south coast, winds will pick up. So this pick up is used in a lot of different senses. And when you say the winds will pick up, it means the winds will get stronger. So winds can pick up. Not many other aspects of weather can pick up, though, but the wind can pick up, meaning that it gets stronger. I am hoping that the wind will pick up later today because I'm going out on the sea again and I'm taking my sail. This sail, it's like a portable handheld sail. It doesn't have a mast. And if you hold it like that, you go speeding along the water. You speed up, yeah, as you go along the water. So it's lots of fun. And if the winds pick up, then you go faster. So, of course, I hope the winds do pick up. Okay, now a different story. The weather was dreadful. We were there for a week and the storms just never let up. If something lets up, it stops, or it stops. Yeah, I'm not sure about improved there. It's quite strange that it's written improved, but it stops. If the rain lets up, it stops. Okay. And it's rare that you could have rain letting up, the snow could let up. You could say the snow just doesn't let up. Okay, we were flooded out. I must admit, this is a phrasal verb that I do not recognize. So I want everybody to know that. I've never heard flooded out before. And so that looked quite strange to me. I would say here, our tent was flooded. That's all I'd say. Our tent was flooded twice. And we ended up staying in a hostel. It just poured down every day. So pour down with rain, yeah? One heavy downpour after another. There's a noun from this phrasal verb, a downpour. We were rained off for most days. You normally see this with football matches. You say the football match was rained off. Yeah, and it means it rained so much that it was cancelled. It was called off. That's where the off comes from. If it's rained off, it's just like it was called off. So it was called off because of the rain. It was rained off. Then one day we thought the storms had blown over. It's quite rare, this one, but yeah, when a storm blows over, it finishes. But remember that we usually say blow over trees. When you have a hurricane or a tornado, the hurricane blows trees over, and it blows buildings over sometimes. Okay, it started to snow. Luckily, there was a cabin at the summit, so we took shelter there. We were snowed in for 2 days. This means there was such heavy snow that you couldn't get outside. So this is rare, especially in England. But I suppose there are places up in Russia where you do get snowed in, maybe even for weeks sometimes. Okay, so unable to leave that place because there was so much snow. Okay, let's look at the other vocabulary book now. And this is phrasal verbs in advanced version. So it's still Michael McCarthy and Felicity O'Dell. It's still those two authors, okay? But yeah, they do a lot of these books, and they do one called Phrasal Verbs Advanced. Okay, so let's look at some of this vocabulary. Sorry, I do get a little bit distracted, guys, when I look at your comments. It's just the way it is. So, beat down. The rain was beating down. The rain was pelting down. You can use the rain beat down, the rain pelted down. But one more way we use beat down is we use it with sun as well. Yeah, the sun can beat down on your head, and it means that it's really strong. It's really, really hot. That's when we say the sun beats down, but we certainly say the rain was beating down last night. And it's when you can hear it usually, like, you know, in this shed, you hear the rain beating down or pelting down every time because it's very noisy. So the rain came on just means the rain started. The rain came on. If you say the snow held off until we had got safely home, it means it didn't start, even though you expected it to start. The snow held off. The rain held off. The snow, you know, didn't start, fortunately, until we got home. Okay, and if you've got pipes, and of course we all have with hot and cold water, the pipes can freeze up. When something freezes up, it means it stops working, and it stops working precisely because it becomes blocked from frozen objects. Yeah, so a lot of different things can freeze up. Cars, I think, can freeze up as well, and it's when the engine stops working in the extreme cold. Yeah, but very often we say pipes freeze up, and that means that the plumber has to come round and fix those pipes because the liquid inside is frozen. Okay, the sun can break through the clouds. Yeah, or what else do we use with through? The sun can break through the clouds or come through the clouds, yeah? Or shine through the clouds. The sun can beat down, but we also say that clouds or fog roll in, yeah? Clouds or fog rolls in, sorry. Clouds or fog rolls in. We say that cloud or smoke blots out the sun. And this is when something covers the sun. It blots it out. So if the cloud or smoke blots out the sun, it means it becomes overcast. And if the windows or glasses fog up, mist up, steam up, your glasses can do this, guys. Your windscreen can do this. In a car, that's very often when you have to clean the windscreen. It means they become covered with small drops of water so you can't see through them. Okay, and this is obviously a problem as a driver. It's a driving problem, really, when your windscreen fogs up or mists up. Let's have a look at some metaphors now. I suspected there would be trouble at the office as soon as the new boss breezed in on his first day. A lot of these guys, I think every single phrasal verb so far, it's been in my book as well. So do consider buying a copy of this if you would like to practice these phrasal verbs. Now, to breeze in the room, it means that you come in really fast and really confidently. It sounds almost negative sometimes. It sounds almost like you don't care about anybody else in the room when you breeze in. I want you to compare it to storm in and storm out, which are probably coming later. They are actually, they're number 6. But when you storm into a room or storm out of a room, you're really angry. And when you breeze into a room or breeze out of a room, you're not angry at all. You're really confident and assured of yourself, okay? He was very competent and he had breezed through the job interview. So when you breeze through your exams or you breeze through an interview, this means that you succeed and it was easy for you, succeed easily. But he had no patience at all for anyone else less able, and he had a very sharp tongue. I noticed that as soon as he spoke to anyone, their face clouded over. So if your face clouds over, just like when the skies cloud over, the weather becomes more miserable. When your face clouds over, you become more miserable. He asked the office junior to explain some contradictory figures in such an aggressive manner that she froze up. So if a person freezes up, they stop moving, usually out of fear or maybe shyness, maybe being shy or being embarrassed, but usually out of fear, and couldn't say a word. I could see her eyes misting over. So misting over here means becoming watery. And when eyes mist over, it usually means that you're about to burst into tears. By the end of that first day, his PA had stormed out, so left the office really angrily. And you would say storm out of if you want to give it an object. Storm out of the meeting, storm out of the class, saying she would never return. The rest of us got together in the evening and decided we had no choice but to try to freeze him out. When you try and freeze somebody out, you try and get rid of them by being unfriendly to them. Yeah, and really you're trying to be really cold and really unfriendly so that they leave of their own accord, of their own decision. So we agreed only to speak to him if we absolutely had to. So they started ignoring him, and this is certainly freezing somebody out. Okay, so they're the phrasal verbs which I've got for you today. Please do consider getting this book. It's just had a nice comment. Thanks very much, Amit. I do appreciate the support. Do consider getting this book if you want another book for learning phrasal verbs. These books are books that I recommend. They're full of phrasal verbs, so I do recommend McCarthy and Odell for vocabulary books. I will put a short, very short, just one page example of what you can find in their books, because you might want to buy their books as well. Yeah, and so you can find those on my website later, and you can find loads of information and loads of exercises on my website. So if you would like more information and more practice, rather than writing me a comment on the YouTube video which gets taken down 24 hours later, do think about getting your hands on these books and getting your hands on some of my books, because that's where I'd like you to go. And if you can't afford that, I totally understand. Go to the website and there's loads of free stuff. So there's something for everybody. You don't have to spend money. You can just come to the website, and every single day there will be more and more and more tasks on that website. Some of them from books that I recommend, but some of them written by me. There are already a lot of tasks on the website written by me. So please do go to the website if you want more practice. And if you have questions, you might find that I answer those questions in other videos. And so do have a look at the lessons to find out the answers. Of course, I'll always label the lesson with the kind of topic that lesson involves. And so this is weather. I will relabel this lesson as weather vocabulary 25, and we'll keep doing vocabulary because I can see that it's probably the most popular topic. But if people want to suggest any other topics, I'm always I do listen. I just don't always obey. Okay, so thanks everybody for coming. I do appreciate the support. And please head to the website if you want to buy any of my books, the one on phrasal verbs, or I've got another one on grammar, which I actually preferred writing, and I think this is my better book. But this is just a vocab book. That's why. This is only vocab. This is certainly grammar as well. And I actually am a big fan of grammar, and perhaps that's why this is my favorite one. But it's cheaper. This is more expensive. It took a lot longer to write. There are loads of pictures inside. So there's a lot of stuff which I had to actually pay, for example, to use those pictures from a website. And so, of course, it has to be a bit more expensive. But this one is a very big book. Okay, so thank you, everybody. Hope to see you all soon. I'll probably be around most mornings nowadays, not necessarily Saturday mornings because I'm quite busy then, but I'll keep trying to do lots of vocab classes and a few other things as well that I think will help my students. Okay, so thanks very much. Hope to see you all.